Uh, Hello everyone. Thank you for staying. I will be speaking in English because this is the common language here now. And just to repeat that this is the result of a 6-week residency that the two members of the Hollow Collective did at Kino Šiśka within the project of Modena, Creative Europe supported project, which Modena stands for Movement, Digital Intelligence and Interactive Audience. Here with me are Viktor Szeri and Tamás Páll. And the third member, which is curator and theorist, Gyula Muskovič. He is not present, but he was at the residency somehow virtually, occasionally present, because he's in New York at the moment. But they're staying together for 7 years already, and in this project they also kind of a lot of self-reference and recycling and reinterpret their earlier works. So Phoenix was kind of the main, which was the first one, and maybe you can say for the beginning how or what brought you together and how the collective developed throughout these 7 years.
Say that?
So Holo exists 7 years ago, as you said, and we started to work together because we have this program supported by workshop or founded by Workshop Foundation called Research into the Unknown, and you can apply for a residency or a research, and you don't have to create any production at the end. And the only thing what you need to do that you are a dancer and you have to work with someone from another discipline, and that's how we started to get to know each other with Tommy. We didn't know each other.
The other discipline.
The other discipline. And with Gyula we knew each other already. And normally it's for a duo, also as Modena. and when I found out that I would like to work with someone who is working with digital media, then I need some help who can shape my thoughts and also our thoughts together and give a direction to it. And that's how we found out this trio, that Gyula is really good in this, to shaping the ideas and giving a direction to it. And this is how we started to work together as Szeri Tamás Muskovics, that was our name that time, and we created Phoenix. And then after we just wanted to continue because we became good friends and we started to spend time together, and then we applied for more residencies, and from this time maybe you can continue.
So we went to a lot of spaces in Europe with Phoenix, and it was quite experimental at that time for me, for sure, but I think for the whole group it was very experimental to find ways how these very different disciplines can come together in one space, like one physical space, like here. And since then I think we continued with this experimentation of how to kind of merge these different skills, medias, bodies, whatever, together in this collective way of producing art, basically. And now we are at this point where we are like 7 years old as a collective. Obviously there are a lot of problems that we have to face as a collective, most of the applications are for duos, solos, whatever, or bigger companies. But since then we work together, and Phoenix was this origin story to Hollow.
You defined yourself also not being, or that the hollow is being more than a sum of its parts. So it's like you're trying to somehow, let's say, distance of your own practice and kind of coming together in kind of a collective body which has its own identity. Could you maybe develop this further? How does this work, and how you kind of distance from your own practice, or how you silent your voices?
Yeah, for me, it also goes back to Phoenix when we started. It was really, in the beginning, it was really obvious that Tommy is the one who's working on the computer. He's creating things and the characters and the AI because he has the knowledge to do this kind of stuff. I'm taking care of the dramaturgy, or what's happening in the space and what's happening in movement-wise, and Gyula also taking care like conceptually, and also he's writing most of the text what we use, and also the dramaturgy. That was like how we started, and then it turned out, even in the creation of Phoenix, that it's not how we work anymore, that we started to get to know each other's interests, aesthetics and everything, and then we started to give feedbacks to each other, and we started to work, not just feedbacks, but we started to do everything constantly together. Also when Tommy is creating the characters and everything, like brainstorming together. And then at one point I just recognized, when it was like the 5th project what we did, that everyone is now dramaturg, everyone's now choreographer, and we learned a lot from each other. And yeah, this is personal, but for me, I had 2 years when I stopped my own practice or my own work, and I was just only working with Hollow together. And after I created a few projects individually, and I just recognized that how much I learned from this collective, and yeah, how much it means to me to be this like egyenrangú,
like horizontal,
like how we work horizontal, and then,
I mean, there are some collectives which have a leader, or so let's say leader, or like a main person, but we are not like that. We are like a group of 3. We decide everything together, and that's how we work. But about this, this collective body that you mentioned, we also had an exhibition just before this in December in Košice in Slovakia, which was a different project, but it was kind of the teaser intro exhibition that was the first solo exhibition of Follow. That we didn't mention yet, that we kind of work across, like performance, art and fine art, and many other things. We do online projects as well, so there are wide range of stuff that we have done together. But anyways, it was in December when we had this show. It just closed, I think, like a couple of days ago, and that was kind of a process showing another project that we had earlier in 2023, which was called Aura, where we had this idea that what if we become one body, or what if we can share a body, what this common body could be for Aura. But then it departed in a totally different scenario. We didn't really deal with that within that performance, but in December we brought this back and started working on Baby, which is actually about how an artwork can become sort of this prosthetic body of a collective, and this was kind of a bit of backlash to this thing.
And how is it working now? Because it was mainly you two, and then the third person was kind of missing, so it was probably this kind of brainstorming or intense work because of also the shifts in time, the different time zones that you've been now for the 6 weeks together, probably it was not that easy in that way, or it was more like, let's say, duo and then having like this kind of third person, I don't know, entering the process at some points.
Yeah. I mean, as we are kind of working together very closely, and sometimes we live together like a couple of months in a year on residencies, I think I can say that Gyula is sort of, you know, embedded in, at least in my thinking, when we are doing some holo stuff together. And also, I mean, there are a lot of like friction when we do decide on things together, because you are not only one who can decide for themselves, but you are a group of 3 and you have to think of the others, you have responsibilities, you have to take care of stuff, so there are a lot of, you know, like friction back and forth. We have to we have to compromise, and like being online, it didn't make it easier, that's for sure. Also dealing with time zones didn't make it easier. But at the end, I think we have like a very good structure that we developed over the 7 years. How we start a project and how we, you know, move forward. Obviously, this is one checkpoint of this project. So this is kind of the kickoff. And Gyula is coming back to Budapest. So we will work more on this project, which will bring, you know, very different ideas into the space.
And I think, like, for me, what was important during this residency, that one is it's really rare that you can apply with holo where it's really for the topic what we are dealing with. Because we all the time try to fit into the box of dance or performing art or something, and then sometimes we find some funding, but Modena is just for like holo. That's what we when we read the open call, it was like, okay, it's for I mean, and we were really happy that something is finally came up, and then when we got it, it was like, okay, but it's for duo, and then how we can deal with this thing, and then, you know, like, there is the structure, what it really like puts this, like, okay, it has to be a duo, but you can divide the money how you want, you can work how you want, and then we just recognize that, okay, it's for actually for a collective as well. And then we started to work, and for me, what really changed now, because we, during Baby, in Košice, when we created this exhibition, it was the same system. That Gyula was in New York, and then we went there, installed the exhibition, but we found out everything together. And I think now what made me happy that there was, because in the beginning there was this trust that I don't know what we speak about, like concepts and aesthetic and like dramaturgy and everything, but we don't really know what is gonna be the final version or what's gonna be the product. But we trust in each other that Tommy is doing something, and then we don't say that, please, this skin won't be don't be red, but do it blue. So everyone is doing their job. And since now in this 6 weeks, I found that we had a bit of distance also. I found really important that it's like this trust came back in a way that you know, like, it's not this that we are having a Zoom meeting at 6 o'clock because Gyula is awake when we have 6 p.m. and then we are presenting something what we are doing if we would have a boss. But there is this trust, you know, like what we can build together at the moment. And then, yeah, when is the space where the other needs to do their job. Yeah, and for me it was like really important in this
Maybe
process.
also one more structural thing or question before we tackle more the content, so to say. I was asked also to like directly ask you where is artificial intelligence, how do you see participation with the audience, and the last one, where is the choreography in this piece? of course, I could answer and give my own vision, but I think it's on you to maybe also shift the perspective, what all these things can be or not, or how do you see and what it means for you.
Yeah.
In this project, but also in, let's say, also some other works that you do.
Maybe we can then go one by one, no? Like AI.
Let's go with the AI.
Yeah. So AI. So yeah, just circling back to like 7 years before this point, I've been working with technology since I've become an artist. That being photography to whatever, like live AI like this. And with Holo, it's always, you know, like we bring, we kind of discuss together a technology, or not even discuss, but see stuff that we collect or find on Instagram or YouTube or whatever. Or we have some ideas, or I have some ideas that I bring in. Okay, let's use augmented reality, let's use whatever software that I'm capable of developing, because I'm developing these by myself, the programming part, and we always so this perspective shift that from this first person perspective to the collective thinking on technology, I think it brought in a very interesting view how we kind of see technology and how we define or how we use technology, which is, you know, turning it upside down a bit. So, for example, we use augmented reality in a way that it's not like directly augmented reality, you know, like stuff that you see through your phone, but kind of everything becomes augmented reality in this liminal space that we are creating, or in these speculative spaces that we are creating. So the storytelling is creating an augmented reality. So it augments the reality that is for the temporary time that we are being together in one space. And with AI, it's I think it was all, kind of the same, that it kind of triggered some of these this reverse reverse reading of technology. So artificial intelligence is also kind of, you know, an augmentation of reality that we are using since like the beginning. We do a lot of like role-playing scenarios, for example, the beginning part of this performance, or in Phoenix it was also kind of a role-play / dance / multimedia thing, and we use these technologies, you know, to enhance, to augment this element of play, basically. And here in this piece is also kind of like this. In the piece, I will talk a bit more about the research part that you didn't see. And yeah, so here it was more like, you know, how the AI kind of reads into the different faces, objects, whatever that is in the space. Yeah, so this was a play between, you know, the computer or this huge database of AI and us. And on the research part, we tried out many different things, like we have a really long chat history, 7 years of chat history on Messenger. So we tried to mine this chat history, which Facebook didn't allow. So we have to collect it by manually. That was one thing, and we also document our performances very thoroughly, and we have a lot of materials, images, videos, games, scripts, and we want to, as a continuation of this project, we want to train our own database of these collective materials to be used live also, like this scenario, but with our own thing, like database, which requires a lot of computational stuff, that we didn't develop yet, and this will be the continuation in terms of technology. And we could talk. I mean, I could talk about AI and why it's very problematic and why it's the context and whatever.
Maybe not this time.
Not this time. Yeah, we don't have time for that. But yeah, about the choreography, participation.
Not the choreography, but for me,
And I will say something about participation.
Okay.
No, but for me, what is also important in this, it's I don't know. I mean, I know what is AI, but not like AI, but AI. It was AI. AR, VR, and this kind of stuff, but more like how we use technology. And for me, what is important during the creation, and I think for all of us, it's to create something which is not like when I think, I don't know, about the 2000, and there was this thing that they put this, what's the name of this?
The motion capture.
The motion capture, that is the avatar, and the dancer dance, and the avatar is doing the same. And I find in so many places where they deal with technology and dance that it's like this, that they are I don't know, checking like what is the connection between this, but they use this like really super expensive stuff and
Tracking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but also this clothes, but the camera and everything, it should be like super, you know. Now for example, we couldn't train something because we didn't have Tommy's computer is not good enough, you know, like, and then you have to send to somewhere to make it happen. And then what I like in Holo, that it's never this, we try to do something and maybe it's not working, and then we learn something from the, so for example, we do this motion capture, but this character is doing something totally different, and it's glitching and something, and then I'm like, yeah, but I can do the same, so I'm learning from the avatar. And then, you know, like we are doing this communication with this thing, and I really like how we are creating a world like around like any project what we are doing. And the choreography for me in it is this, that, you know, like we think about a situation or about a word what we create, and then where do we want to invite the people in. And then it's also participation, that, you know, for example here, okay, it's our birthday party, but how do we imagine our birthday party? But it wasn't the first thing which came to our mind, but, you know, like after we started to make the concept, and we said like what our interests at the moment are, and then it happened that, okay, that's gonna be the birthday party. And then we imagine like what is the space for this, how we imagine this, how we can reuse some materials, because you don't have to all the time create some new stuff, because there is a presentation at the end. And then how we would like to invite the audience in to participate. So in this case, it was just like a birthday party, but sometimes we really do like role play, and they dress up and we do a dinner. And for me, this is like, of course there is dance, and in some of our project includes more dance, like really a lot of dance. But for example here it was like dance, but also the space has a choreography. And you know how we imagine this is really frontal, it's like a cinema, and then, you know, you start to play with it, that do you want to use this, or you want to be around the people, how you create this, or also what is the space, and what are its limits, and then
And how can you inhabit it?
Yeah.
And also this situation kind of invites people in to participate by itself, because the situation gives itself to the audience. That you are in a birthday party, maybe it's really fucking weird, but you are part of it. And most of our stuff is this situation.
In the dark room.
Yeah, in the dark room. And most of our like performances are like this, that you are entering a situation, and that way you become the participant in your own way.
Gyula, please say something about participation.
But he really likes the participation
Yes.
part. He's pushing all the time really forward.
Yeah.
So maybe we leave this question for Gyula for the next time.
Or maybe we can just like add this, that what because we had this general rehearsal, and what you said, for me it was like really important, that all of the time, of course there is this circle and the clapping, it can develop way more forward, but like, you know, like when we did, and Jasmina said that, you know, like I'm breathing, but when it's being said that concentrate on your breathing, or breathe in or breathe out, then, you know, like you become conscious about what you are doing and what's happening. And I think like we do a lot this kind of like meditation or imagination thing, and like I like this kind of participation style more than to make people do fitness or like really involve them.
Maybe something about the piece that we can say. I mentioned before that you're like a lot of recycling and citing yourself and like self-inventing, like in this kind of auto-fictional scenarios. And here in this piece we mentioned that it was Phoenix present, but it was also Aura present, and it was Archive present. So it was like kind of different things that you put together. How do you decide which project of the previous you're using, or which part are kind of you're eager to develop further or make a reinterpretation of it, and what is pushing you to make another or a new interpretation of the material, and maybe how they are merged together in a new reality or in a new project becoming something else?
Like how I see now, so just for context, we do these projects based on like our own kind of fantasy speculations, but also combined with like real world references or scenarios, and this became kind of our like method of creating stuff. But how I see now this baby project, as I mentioned, there was an earlier version of this. I mean, not the performance, but an exhibition. And how I see it now, this baby is kind of looking back to a previous project, performance, world, whatever, and kind of not even reinterprets it, but it kind of becomes something personal narration over a past thing. In the present, which is kind of how we also work together, and also I work like individually, that I look back on like a fiction that we created or I created a couple of years ago, and now I think through it, and maybe I think a totally different thing, or I interpret it in a totally different way than it was like 7 years ago. And how I see now, this baby is sort of this voice that kind of gives a voice to this collective way of looking back, but also telling a different story in the present from a past thing.
For me it's interesting because you were like a caregiver or creator, and then the baby, here is the shift in this project, let's say, so the baby becomes a caretaker of you. And I'm wondering where it can go, or how the baby becomes more separate, or and directing you instead of that you direct it. I don't know how, but I guess that with some kind of data that is fed into the baby, it can become kind of a shift in the story. Maybe even like it goes somewhere else, or it moves somewhere where you are not, neither as a collective body or its particle, but as another creature making you follow something.
Yeah, before it was, I mean, the first time it was a baby. Now it grew up a bit. No? I mean, it evolves, so yeah.
I don't know, maybe you can also feedback or give like everyone say something what they saw today or how do you see where this project could go or where do you see the lacks or cracks and potentials in whatever way you want because I guess they would like to hear something about that, to go to Budapest with some questions or some comments in their head.
Now I put myself in a strange situation. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I liked. Actually, I have some technical questions for you. Sorry, I didn't get your name.
Thomas.
I will ask you later because it's probably too much for everybody else. I mean, I'm curious about technical stuff because this is what I also like to do. But I don't know. My favorite part was this AI stuff, and I don't know if this was on purpose, but I really liked how the whole thing with the cake. I kind of felt like, okay, this is like we're gonna take some drugs and when you guys started cutting that cake and just, I don't know, this part was for me like super cool. And all this stuff is actually part of the weakness of this real-time AI system, and I think it was really used in a nice way. I mean, how do you say this? I don't know if it was on purpose, but I tried to believe it was, that you really took advantage of the weaknesses of these real-time generated AI images. Yeah, okay. So I hope I got that through, but that's the part I really liked. Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, we can talk about that after this talk, if you want. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm really interested more in technical stuff.
Yeah.
How you train the networks.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Sure. Just talk.
We go. Like this.
Prepare.
Everyone, at least one thing to say.
Maybe two.
Two.
Maybe two.
I get very nervous when I have to speak. Because of that, I mostly use my body or for express myself. But what I found it interesting is the way how you involved us. Because of course, I get nervous as well if I see the stage. Okay, now probably we will be involved in some kind of way, and then I have this struggle a little bit, even though that I am a performer. And it was a very subtle. And it was not so much to expect from us, and at the same time we were totally involved. These photographies were really like not every one of us got them, but I got one, the first one, and it was like a very nice intro to come in and to activate my mind, okay, and really thinking about this question the whole time that I was watching the show. So I found this part very nice. And as well that it was not so much to be involved in. as you said, how we wanted to, we went into the piece.
And the weak point?
The weak point.
I don't know, the weak point, when it was finished, I was like, that's it. I don't know if this is a weak point, but it was like, somehow I came into the thing and I could watch it more, I think. Yeah, happened very fast, maybe.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I liked how you divided the space. So, yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
We continue like that? Something in Hungarian, maybe.
Thank you. That's really good. First of all, can I speak without the mic?
Yeah.
No.
No,
Okay.
it's
Sorry.
recording.
I think lady already. So thank you very much for this showing and presentation. It's unbelievable, but I haven't watched anything from you guys in the past 7 years, so you have to come to Uganda finally and show something. As Dati said, I really enjoyed the intro, the getting in. What else? All in all, I was just like totally amazed by how you used this technology, because how before Viktor mentioned this, that usually back in the times it was just like a body and then like reflecting something and then like trying to copy it, and this was in my head that it's still how it works, so I was not so interested in these kind of things. So it was a really positive surprise how this whole thing evolved and developed, and if you use it smartly and nicely, I mean, maybe it's also a matter of taste and preference as well, then you can really create amazing stuff. Yeah, so I really enjoyed that. The involvement was great. I also felt that it was not too much and not pressured. Though the circle together, I mean, I enjoyed because of the randomness of it. It was like, okay. But as you said, is the breathing together or like participating while recorded by the phone and then watching yourself, that was much more, of course, interesting and settled and like laid back in a way as well. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Super, thank you that you are so engaged.
Yes.
I'm very happy, and I'm really happy.
It's good to be pushed a little bit, otherwise I wouldn't say anything properly. Yeah, no, just I was thinking, because you mentioned the self-referential aspect of the piece, like that I think it really succeeded in being like self-referential in a way that like included us rather than, because sometimes it can be excluding. I think the way that you told the narrative, like, I don't know, somehow gave us enough information that it brought us in, but it was still like a bit abstract and mysterious, which was really cool. Yeah, just now I thought about the circle clapping thing. Maybe I would make that longer actually, just I don't know, to make more of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were my thoughts. I really liked it.
Thank you.
We continue.
Hi, so thank you for showing your piece. I just wanted to come back to the end because actually it was my thoughts also that it just ended, and the last sentence is something that you need to shred your skin. So I was expecting after all this, and the whole piece I understood is like a transformation also for the audience as for what in your story what was going on. So at the end I thought that after all these visual things will come to the flesh, because you know you will shed your skin. So I thought when it went dark, when the light will go on, you would be like, I don't know, naked or different or something. So for me it was also the same. I was really, when it was just the end, I was like, because it's like it takes time. You come in like slowly. You kind of get into this world. So either you go through with this idea of the total transformation and that something really would happen, or for the audience, or with you two. Otherwise, it was just like suddenly it was like, okay. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
I will also comment on, if I can share, that I was very, very happy, like seeing so many kind of little symbolics or like very present symbolics, but nothing so much underlined or like, you know, having just one direct meaning, but always unfolding something beneath those things. And this is what I really like. So you brought me on the journey when I didn't know where we go. Like somehow it was changing and shifting all the time, but giving enough information and also like sparkling my imagination at the same time.
Thank you.
I don't know, should we continue? But I think it's like kind of stopping, and we can have a drink together maybe in more informal way.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Thank you everyone.